here's the voice of the West Monroe Rebels, Rick Guillot.
Welcome, everybody, to Inside Rebel Football. We're live at Freddy's on Cypress Street in West Monroe, just like we are each and every Wednesday night. I'm Rick Guillot. Tim Gallion's here with us, and Dawson Bowe's back at the studio. Of course, that's our Friday night crew as well, and Tim and Dawson do a fantastic job during our broadcast on Fridays, so I appreciate them. Of course, Tim will be on the road with me on Friday night, and Dawson will be back at the studio keeping us rolling. It'll be 6:15 pregame show. We'll be at Ash, and if it's like last year, we'll be in the bleachers and with the generator running the broadcast. But that's okay. That's all right. We're looking forward to that. But we'll talk a lot about that towards the end of the show. We'll have coaches and players here with us tonight. But, of course, our opening segment always joined by head coach Kevin Davis. Coach, great win Friday, 50-0. You hang 50 on Scotlandville on a homecoming night, which you never know about homecoming. But looked like you guys were prepared, showed up, and really executed very well last Friday. But your overall thoughts against Scotlandville?
I think that's a way to sum it up because I bragged on our kids just with all the things happening during homecoming. I think our administration and our teachers do a tremendous job of keeping it locked in either to the day, maybe one thing at night. Dance was the previous Saturday. So they do the things the way you want it to be done, and then anything that happens during the school day for the most part. And our kids, once they get to practice, that's what they can do. They can lock into practice. I thought they did a great job. I thought our coaches did a great job of preparation, getting them ready to play. And it was, like you said, it was great Friday night. Anytime you win, it's great. But to execute like we did and to get a lot of kids in the ball game was super special.
Before we get into the game, did you get a chance to watch the homecoming assembly? Did you get a chance to watch the program?
I watched about half of it and then got called out.
Oh, gotcha. Well, it's always entertaining, and the talent at that school is fantastic, and it was on full display last week. Let's talk about the game, Coach. You had 5 different players with touchdowns in the game Friday night, but it all started with, of course, Renaldrick Miles, so I don't think he played in the second half, 51 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Right.
He continues to provide that leadership on offense in the backfield. Your thoughts on Boobie Miles? Week in, week out, he's been pretty consistent for you.
He has. He's been very consistent, and that's the thing you like the most. We've talked about that from the first of the year, to be consistent offensively, to do the things we need to do. Don't turn the ball over. We've done a great job of securing the football, and he just brings us that punch. We did some things early, tried some things just because we wanted to work on them, but we knew that when we got to the goal line there in that first drive that we were going to run the power, and we did, and it looked really good, and I said we could run it all night long.
Boobie's got, I think, 10 touchdowns on the season so far. You lined up Pawnee at tailback a couple times. You looked pretty sharp running downhill.
Yep.
Is that something maybe we could see a little bit more of?
I think you're going to see, we could have that three-headed monster attack in some ways. He gives us just different things that maybe we don't get from Kedron or – we don't get from Boobie, and so it helps. He catches the ball out of the backfield. He blocks well. So he's still going to be that H-back type, fullback type for us. But with us getting away probably from the veer as much, it helps to have him back there and tote it a little bit.
You also mixed in a little Wildcat formation. I know you guys have been working on that. We talked post-game show about that, but direct snap to Luke, who is a now kind of transitioned into a wide receiver, but also started the season as a quarterback and can still use him as a quarterback. But that looked really good. It's a nice little wrinkle you guys added last Friday.
Said put that in probably 2 weeks ago, and we just been practicing it till we felt like it was ready to go, and we felt like it was ready to go this week. And it's just something for people to prepare for. A lot of people say, well, I wouldn't have shown it, when you win. But it's more of, hey, here's something else you better defense, and you better prepare for. So Luke does a good job with that.
Your passing attack continued from Ryder to Trez. That's kind of been the duo for the first 5 games of the season. Talk about, that chemistry between Ryder and Trez. And, of course, Trez had 2 catches for 108 yards and a couple of scores, a couple of bombs getting behind the defense. But, talk about that chemistry right there.
Well, it's just it's been since day one with them. Trez has come out and just shown such a great work ethic, just to come out and work hard at his craft, get better at his routes. The 50-50 ball is, he's been almost second to none with that. And so it's really helped tremendously to have him. And Ryder's comfortable with him. Ryder knows that for the most part, until somebody starts doubling him, he's going to be open.
Yeah.
And so he knows he can go there at any time.
Coach, your defense, anytime you pitch a shutout, that's a big deal. And I know you guys celebrate that, or Coach Arledge especially will celebrate a shutout with maybe some pizza or something like that. So I know those guys were excited. Again, it's led by your seniors, Parker Todd, Tyler Roark, Shances Stewart. Those guys led the team in tackles last Friday night. Let's talk about Tyler Roark. He comes in now going into Ash with 7.5 sacks on the season. Talk to me about that senior defensive end, Tyler Roark, and what he means to your program.
Well, he's so athletic. He's so quick off the football. He's got great feet. He can change direction. He can get skinny if he's going between 2 guys. Not that he's skinny at all, but he can sure get thin and do it. And it's just his initial punch off the ball is tremendous. I'll tell you what he's done. We'll do a 2-minute drill on a Wednesday. And we do a 3rd and long on a Monday, and he has made our guys so much better.
Gotcha.
Because you better block him.
Yeah.
And most people are probably going to have to double him to get him blocked. And so when you do that, you take somebody out of the route, and that helps us even more. So can't say enough about the way he plays.
A 3-year starter and just really kind of had that leadership capability and ability for all 3 years, and certainly leading that defense with some big plays. Of course, Parker Todd had led the team with 6 tackles, and we talked about Shances Stewart. We'll get a chance to visit with him tonight on the show. Your secondary, Scotlandville, completed 3 passes out of 18 attempts for 50 yards. They only rushed for 5 yards, but it was a big night for your defense. Talk about the maturity. You're starting to see some maturity in your secondary, playing a little cleaner, and also, assignment football starting mature in that area. Talk to me about your secondary on defense.
Well, the other night, it doesn't show up simply because no one had seen previous games of theirs. But number 9 was a big target for them.
Yeah.
All year long. They threw a fade route for a touchdown, every game for him, and we shut him down almost completely. And to do that, says a lot about the preparation of our secondary coaches and just our kids accepting that challenge, stepping up and playing the way they did. But they're just getting more and more comfortable. Yeah. And they're seeing, the things more and more as far as the secondary roles and the way they need to adapt when they go in motion and all that kind of stuff. So it's helped a lot, and I think our guys have been great just being patient with them.
Well, certainly will be tested Friday night as the Rebels head to Alexandria, and a good passing attack and a really good running back for the Trojans. And but we'll talk a lot more about that towards the end of the show. In our next segment, we're going to have offensive line coach Lance Wright. And, Coach, I'd just like to know your thoughts on him, what he's meant to your locker room, what he's meant to this offensive line and to your program. What are your thoughts on Coach Lance Wright?
Oh, man, I wouldn't trade him for the world. Guy's been completely awesome for us, and he came in and did exactly what I was looking for in a coach. Not real concerned about his X's and O's and just how much he can wow you, but I was more concerned with the culture that he would bring to our locker room and the energy that he brings to our practices. Yeah. And he has been absolutely wonderful. Our kids love him. And he brings it every day that he comes out. So it's going to be fun to listen to Lance talk to you. And, man, I'm glad we have him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to visiting with him And we'll do that here on the next segment. Coach, we'll visit with you at the end of the show.
All right, thank you.
All right, folks, that was head coach Kevin Davis. When we come back, we'll visit with offensive line coach Lance Wright right here on Inside Rebel Football. We'll be right back.
At Century Next Bank, employees are busy working for you. Employees like Lee Denny, whose relationships make an impact in the communities we call home.
So to see positive impact that these relationships can have when you work with other people, when other people appreciate it. And again, it goes back to spending time and trying to help somebody, and it's a very rewarding thing for me as well.
For more on Lee's story, visit bankwithlocals.com. Century Next Bank. What's next for you?
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for hanging with us here on Inside Rebel Football. We want to give a shout-out to Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The manager, David, here always does a great job taking care of us and taking care of our players and our coaches and their families. And so shout-out to David. Thank you. And, of course, all of our sponsors and our listeners. As you hear these commercials throughout our broadcast tonight, these are the folks that make this show happen. And so we hope you return the favor, do business with those folks. We certainly appreciate their support. Excited about this next segment, offensive line coach Lance Wright, and got to talk to Coach Davis a little bit about you. But, Coach, welcome to the show. Welcome back to West Monroe, man.
Good to be back, Rick.
Hear so many good things. But, Coach, I know you well and know your family, and of course we played together back when. But won't you tell our listeners, how did you get back? Take us through your journey from West Monroe back to West Monroe.
Heck of a journey, Rick.
Yeah.
Man, I grew up here in West Monroe, played the 97 team, 98 team. We won back-to-back state championships. Our senior year, 99, we lost to Evangel in the Dome.
Yeah.
So we had a great high school experience, man, as far as winning and our tradition, where it was, and how we, built it in the early 90s with Coach Childs. And after high school, man, I got a chance to play ball at Grambling State. Great experience there, man. Experienced some championships at Grambling. Played for the legend at Grambling and Coach Williams, and just had an awesome opportunity there, man. And after college, went into college ministry, man, and preaching, and it was able to serve at FCA and still stay close to sports. And got a chance to work at Grambling State again, South Carolina State. Worked over at Southern for a little while. And then when I felt called to get back into coaching high school ball, man, I had a journey back. Started at, West Washita, started with Wiseman at Wiseman High School, Southwood in Shreveport, and took me to Magnolia, Magnolia School of Excellence, and then in Texas, short stint in Texas, outside of Houston, coaching in the same district my brother coached in at a junior high there. So just an awesome experience, and then, man, got some calls about the opportunity to get ready to come back, man, and labor at West Monroe, which was, it was a dream come true, man, to come back and, get an opportunity to be back at the program where it all started for us and our city and our community.
That's right.
And we believe heavily in what we do, and it was just a great opportunity to get a chance to come back and pour into the kids here at West Monroe, man, and in the community.
Yeah, and I'm sure your family was excited about it, coming back here and really settling back down.
Absolutely.
And, I know there's a lot of people around this program, including myself, Coach, that were just ecstatic when I heard the news that Lance Wright was coming back to West Monroe. I knew what you would bring to this program as far as culture goes. Let's talk about the culture of this program and what you bring to the table. You know the importance of a locker room. You know the importance of an environment in a program like this. Talk to me about the impact you've had on that so far and how intentional you are with the players and coaches in that locker room.
Well, it was good because when I met with Coach Davis and Coach Goins and a lot of our coaches here, they welcomed me right in, open arms, into what they had been building, and which was restoring the program back to order and what we know it could be. And so in that, it was the working of the summer. As you know, the summers at West Monroe is where our foundation is and where the program takes off. And we were hitting the ground running. We had a heck of a summer. The guys were working. It was 100 miles an hour. We had 3 groups where we were working out almost about 200 kids a day. And that was just phenomenal to come in and see that we were at that kind of level. And so with that, it was easy for me when I talked with Coach Davis to do my part in pouring into those guys, pouring into them some of the rich history, talking history lessons about the 93 team and the community and how our community was changed forever with the 93 team.
That's right.
Underdog, blue collar, worked. You will always count it out, but found a way to win games that you didn't because you outworked your opponent. And that's exactly what I walked into. Coach Davis, his work ethic, our staff work ethic, everybody pitching in on the mission to say we want to be great and we're going to be great and do what, a lot of people may have counted us out to do, but we still believing and knowing that we have a mission to accomplish.
Yeah, it seems like you're embracing that. It's weird to say because it doesn't happen very often, but West Monroe is embracing that underdog role right now. There's not a whole lot of expectation for the Rebels, and of course this Friday night is a perfect example of that. A lot of folks are saying Ash should win this one pretty easily, and I know that doesn't sit well with you. Your thoughts on Ash? I know you got a glimpse of them on the JV game Monday night and things they do, but you've had a chance to watch them on film, and you guys have been preparing for them. What does the Ash – I know you've been looking at their defense. Talk to me about their defense.
They have a solid defense, solid front. They play a physical style of football. They've been in a few high-scoring games. They played against Opelousas 43-40 the week before last, and it was a nail-biter, but that was two physical teams. And so that's the kind of football that Ash plays, and we expect nothing different. We plan on coming out and playing our brand of football, coming off the football, playing consistent in the run game, hitting open targets in the passing game. But Ash, they play physical. Now, their past week against Manny, I think they got on top of them pretty good. They won 69-7, and so they're undefeated right now. Yeah. And so that's what gives us a lot of expectation in going into it and being able to, get the kind of victory that could turn some tables and do some things that we really hope to accomplish.
Yeah. Call that a great opportunity.
Yes,
sir.
That
is this Friday
night
as the Rebels go down to Ash. Coach, you've been around football a long time. You've been around the game, different teams, different levels. This offensive line this year for West Monroe certainly looks the part. You got two guys here with you tonight in Ty and Hayes that are giants.
Yes, sir.
But your thoughts on the progression of our offensive line? You think back to the Bayou Jam against Evangel, a little bit raw, and week after week you guys have slowly progressed, and now pretty good offense, averaging over 40 points a game. But your thoughts on your guys up front?
Me and Coach Barron talk every day about our progress as a line and our expectation in them. And to see the improvement that we've had since the Jamboree in assignment football, blocking to the whistle blow, pancake blocks, mile blocks, what we call when you move the defender 5 yards off the football away the line of scrimmage dominance. This offensive line has improved a lot.
Good.
They've gelled together, pulled together, and started to communicate more. And that's the sign of an offensive line that's improving, is communicating what you see up front so that you're confident in the plays that you're running. Gotcha. And the person that's next to you, you got that trust factor built. So I think our offensive line has improved so much since the beginning of this year. And the potential is still limitless because there's a lot of talent on our offensive line. We have about 8 or 9 offensive linemen that play each game. So, me and Coach Barron have a good task of, making sure that those guys get reps and continue to improve and get better. And we're still fairly young.
Yeah, that's right. Young, you got one of your seniors here with you tonight. We'll get a chance to talk to him. Coach, man, I could sit here and talk to you all night, but you did a great job.
Thank you,
I'm glad you're here. And on behalf of several former players, we love hearing your name. We love that you're back in this program. And as a father of one of the players, I can tell you're making a difference.
Man, thank you, Rick, man.
Work.
It's a blessing to be back, man.
Well, we're glad to have you. You're welcome. Folks, that was offensive line coach Lance Wright. We come back, we'll visit with a couple of his players, Hayes Fuquay and Ty George, right here on Inside Rebel Football. We'll be right back.
For years, you've trusted us with your car buying experience. You've trusted us to provide service after the sale. You've even trusted us to help keep your vehicle clean. Now it's time for us to have some fun.
Polaris of Ruston, where the road ends, adventure begins.
Welcome back, folks, to Inside Rebel Football. We appreciate you hanging with us. We want to give a shout-out to our sponsors, our host, Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, Jim Taylor Ford, Family Convenience Clinic, Century Next Bank, Home Improvement Outlet, Polaris of Ruston, Twin City Chiropractic, Rocket Fast Car Wash, Doopy Flooring, and Dr. Jeff Counts. And, of course, our show will be uploaded on the West Monroe Football Facebook page tomorrow at some point. Coach Ashley always does a great job with that, and that'll be uploaded tomorrow. And, of course, you can catch our pregame show on LA 105.3 KLIP Monroe. We'll be on live at 6:15 Friday night in Alexandria as West Monroe gets ready to take on Ash. It should be a fun one. Joined by two familiar names to the broadcast, Hayes Fuquay, Ty George, and guys, not very often I feel small right now. Hayes, we'll start with you.
Yes, sir.
Senior offensive lineman, you kind of play both sides of the ball, but let's talk about what it means first to be a senior. You're named a captain on this team, which carries a lot of responsibility.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about what that means to you and some of the responsibilities that go with it.
Well, it's a great honor. You know, you work your whole, high school career to be, represent this great city and to have it come true. It's really a blessing.
Yeah.
It's God's blessing, and I'm very grateful to lead people. Encourage, show them the way, how to do things in the right way. Obviously. Yeah. That's really big on for me.
Well, you've certainly done a good job of that, and having to juggle a couple of different responsibilities. Of course, the leadership side of things, you played a lot of defense last year, a little bit of offense, and now you're playing a lot of offense and a little bit of defense.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
to me about managing those two responsibilities and those two positions, mainly the offensive line. Talk to me about how you balance both sides of the ball.
Well, it's really, obviously, I played for 3 years on the defensive line, and so I kind of obviously picked it up, got it down, and I just had to learn my plays for offense.
Gotcha.
Get it down, get the steps down, and Coach Barron's done a great job showing me how to do those things, and hopefully I can progress to be a better offensive lineman in the next couple games.
Which one do you like better?
Offensive line.
Offensive
It's
line.
fun.
Yeah,
It's
I
real
can
fun.
tell because, just about every time I look up, it's you and Ty. Somebody's on the ground, and it's not good for the other team. Ty, look, man, of course, a big presence on that offensive line.
Yes, sir.
You take a lot of pride in playing offensive line. Talk to me about the effort, the work that it takes. What does it take to be successful up front? You've had a lot of success this season, several pancakes and big plays for you. Talk to me about what makes you successful up front.
It's all about the brains and being smart. You want to stay low.
Yeah.
You want to. Hey, when you get that pancake, you want to add a little syrup to it. You want to fall on them. You got to take the game out of them.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, that's an interesting answer. You say it's about the brains, when a lot of people would look at you and say, well, Ty's a big physical guy, probably bigger and stronger than everybody else. But you're saying it's really about playing smart. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by it's about the brains?
Well, about offensive line, you can't just run up to somebody and get them. You have different rules.
Yeah.
You got certain double teams, got certain ways to get up to a linebacker.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
So, different responsibilities given the play, of course, playing with leverage, playing low. I know you guys have played some pretty big defensive linemen. I know Catholic had a couple of good ones, and Ash will certainly have a few good players as well. Hayes, want to go back to you. You guys have played 3 games. You had a 3-game road trip there and 3 difficult road games, and now you got to go back home.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about playing on the road. I want to know your thoughts and your perspective on going on those road trips and being tested like that. What have you learned from that, and what do you think, will it benefit West Monroe moving forward?
I think it will, because obviously the atmospheres at all 3 of those places were just insane.
Yeah.
And I think that helps you, when you go play somewhere else, you kind of see it's harder to play in those situations, and you see what to do in certain moments and don't get caught up in the moment. And, it gives you a perspective on things, what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ty, you guys have progressed. I talked to Coach Wright, which, of course, I played with Coach Wright. It's so good to have him back, and I know you guys appreciate everything that him and Coach Barron they do for our offensive line. Ty, talk to me about the progression of this offensive line. You go into the Bayou Gym, got some new guys up front. You got Hayes coming over from defense.
Yes, sir.
You guys have finally started really settling in and become a force to be reckoned with up front. Talk to me about that growth over those 5 weeks and what that's taken, and now how do you feel about that unit up front?
I feel like all the juniors and seniors, they all buying in. You know, we got a couple sophomores that's buying in, and they all love offensive line. They see what we do, and they just want to be a part of it, and they just want to learn, and they want to dominate just like us.
Yeah, you start to take pride in that position.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. Both of you guys are starting to gain, or I say starting to have gained, attention for playing at the next level. Talk to me about that experience. I know both of you guys have offers to play at the next level, good offers, I should say, to really good programs to play at the next level. Hayes, I'll start with you. What's that experience been like? I know it's got to be fun to be recruited.
Yes, sir.
But talk to me about that process. What's that like?
It's very, different than what you would think it is. It's not just, 2 + 2. It's complicated because
Gotcha.
for me, converting to offensive line, I've been recruited as a defensive lineman. So when I go and tour these places as an offensive lineman, they don't have enough film on me.
Gotcha.
So it's just one of those things, they have their people, and just hopefully you're one of them.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is.
Ty, you've been around. I know you took some pretty cool road trips over the off season.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about that process. Are you enjoying that process? Is it stressful? Tell me about that.
It was both fun, and I was kind of missing West Monroe.
Yeah.
But the West Coast tour, it was fun. I visited a lot of colleges, went to a lot of colleges over there.
Probably could get used to the weather out there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's really nice. Well, guys, you've had a chance. You've been working this week preparing for Ash. Hayes, I'll ask you, what's it going to take for West Monroe to be successful Friday night? Ash is good. They've got a big physical defensive front. What's it going to take to be successful Friday?
We have to dominate for all 4 quarters. We have to execute our assignments perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's going to take. I believe we can do it.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. That belief is something that's going to be important on Friday night. Guys, always a pleasure talking to you, and I wish you the best of luck Friday night.
Thank you.
And, Hayes, I like to tell our seniors, as a former player and a graduate from the school, I appreciate the way that you wear that jersey, what it means to you and the pride that you have. And for those that played before you, we recognize and appreciate how you carry yourself and how you wear this jersey, so it's much appreciated.
Thank you.
Folks, that was Hayes Fuquay and Ty George, 2 familiar names to our program, and look forward to watching those guys up front on Friday night. We come back, we'll turn the page, we'll talk some defense with defensive tackle coach Calvin Bowman. We'll be right back here on Inside Rebel Football.
Coach, look what I got. The Rocket Pass playbook. That's awesome, Sport. What does it say? First, you get him in the tunnel. Second, you blindside him with the wall of foam. Third, you call an audible. Then comes the Hail Mary. You hit him with the fast pass. Coach, it's brilliant. No dirty opponent stands a chance against Rocket Fast.
Hey, that's my playbook. Where'd you get that? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just sing the song.
Rocket Fast. It's a blast. And your vehicle is clean.
Live here on LA 105.3 KLIP Monroe. At Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers here on Cypress Street in West Monroe. We appreciate David and his team here at Freddy's taking care of us tonight and every Wednesday night for Inside Rebel Football. You'll catch us on Facebook. You can go to the West Monroe Football Facebook page tomorrow. This show will be uploaded. You can watch it and listen in to our coaches and our players. And, boy, we brought the beef tonight. We've had, offensive line and our defensive line tonight, and I love it because that's man, I love the trenches. And so this is one of my favorite shows of the season. Now joined by defensive tackle coach Calvin Bowman. Second year here with the program, Coach, but I'd love for you to just kind of reintroduce yourself to our listeners and our viewers and talk about your journey back or to West Monroe.
My name is Calvin Bowman. I'm a 2016 graduate of West Monroe High School.
Yep.
I enjoyed my time playing football at West Monroe. Went and played college football, Division II, Mississippi College. Played 4 years, graduated, and I decided I wanted to get into education and coaching. So I moved back home to Monroe, and I was at St. Fred's for a year. and then Coach Garvin brought me to Washita.
Yeah.
I was there 2 years, and it was an unfortunate feeling being your alma mater, but it happened. And then he said, well, I want you to come to West Monroe.
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I said, well,
go back home.
Going back home. So
yeah.
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to work.
Well, look, we're glad that you're back, Coach, and you've had a positive impact on our players
yes,
in
sir.
our program, and it's certainly appreciated as a former player myself. I love when we get guys back and bring back some of that tradition that we're used to, and of course somebody with your knowledge, the level of football that you played, certainly is something we don't take for granted. Coach, let's talk about this defensive line. Over these past 5 weeks, and last weekend maybe not so much just because Scotlandville couldn't really get anything going, any rhythm. But you guys have played some big-time offenses. And when we go into those situations, depth up front is really important. Talk to me about the depth of defensive tackle. We have rolled guys in there throughout the season and the effort that it takes to get guys into the game quickly. But talk to me first before we get into the logistics of it. Talk to me about the group that you have and how deep you are.
I'm fortunate to coach some guys that I say they're just like me.
I got you. Okay.
They're short. They some stumps.
Yeah.
Short, stocky guys
yeah.
that can play football. We got Shances Stewart. He's a senior, the only senior defensive tackle I have.
Got you.
He has not played in 3 years.
Yeah.
Due to knee injuries.
Yeah.
And just out the blue, he's here and he's making plays, and I'm
He's
proud
having
of
a great
him.
year.
Oh,
you
yeah.
bet.
And then Jayden Clay, 94, another guy. Short, low to the ground. As my dad would call him, he called them tush hogs. And I got the 2 sophomores. I call those the puppies of the group. And that's Jacob Davis and Braxton Florentine.
Yeah.
And they, too, are some little stumps.
Yeah.
Short and solid. So
yeah.
I'm proud of those guys. They've been playing real hard for me. And, just trying to keep them motivated. They often look at the record, and I keep telling them, I said, guys, Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's right.
So it's all about just keep chopping wood and keep playing football.
I love that message, and I love how your defensive tackles not only physically have taken your identity, but mentally.
Oh, yeah.
You talk about somewhat of an underdog build to yourself and an underdog mentality up front. Talk about the mentality that it takes to be successful. When you're that size and you walk and you see a tackle or a guard like Scotlandville had, you probably outweighed 50-plus pounds. Talk to me about the mental mindset it takes to be successful.
I try to put my morals and values in my guys.
Gotcha.
You got to understand, for 4 years, I've been told I was too small to play college football. And I was determined to prove everybody wrong.
I love it.
So I think when a kid gets that mindset that they can't be stopped and no one's going to tell them what they can and can't do, they can't be blocked.
Yeah.
So, it's just trying to motivate these guys and just, lay down. You playing football like you flat on your back. And you're trying to fight your way to the top. And that's my way of coaching them. Like, guys, you're in a dog fight every day.
Yeah.
Every play is a fight. And you trying to you either go sink or swim.
Especially a defensive tackle, double teams, and you're playing just some massive guys. But really, it's a very difficult position to play. And so, Coach, I love that. I love that mindset. Let's talk about the progression up front. Again, you played some really good offenses. How do you feel like you guys are progressing up front? We talked about the depth. And talk to me about how much better we've gotten. You go back to the Evangel and the Bayou Jam. Talk to me about how much better your guys have gotten.
These guys have been going on an uphill tick every game. They're getting better and better every game, and I'm starting to see that they're starting to progress.
Gotcha.
From the scrimmage, the jamboree, our stats are constantly going up.
Yeah.
I have a defensive tackle right now with 3 sacks.
That's
averaging
awesome.
five tackles a game. So, for undersized defensive tackle in 5A football, that's pretty good,
You guys having to rotate a lot, has that helped with the progression? Because and talk to me about when you're there Friday night. Let's just go back to North DeSoto or Pulaski, and you're watching your guys. What what tells you or what triggers you that say, I need to get that guy out and I've got confidence to get this next guy in?
Usually it's the universal lineman stand. They put their hands on their hip. They poke their stomach out a little bit. I say, well, he's gassing.
He's gassing.
Or they get the tap in their head. I say, well, yeah, I know one thing about old Shances Stewart. He don't mind telling me.
He don't mind telling you.
Coach, I need a breather.
Uh-huh.
So when I see that, I know to get those other guys in. And it's been very helpful to have guys that can come in and keep the same energy as the starter guys that was up there.
When you go into a game with those hurry-up offenses, is that something you guys train for during the week, saying, hey, you got to be right by me because when it's time to go in, we've got to roll quick? Is that something you guys prepare? The substitution side of things, is that something that you guys prepare for?
Oh, yeah, we do. We have our little tricks and trades, what we do, but practicing for those hurry-up offenses, Coach Artis does a great job in simulating game speed with our scout team. So scout team's been doing a great job this year.
Cool.
And helping us prepare for those fast offenses.
Speaking of preparation, you've got a good offense to prepare for in Ash, the Ash Trojans, this Friday night. Talk to me about what we should expect out of that offense as you guys have been preparing. I know they move fast as well and have a lot of weapons, especially Lindsey, the tailback for Ash. Talk to me about, give me a scouting report on those guys.
You know, when we first got the film, I asked Coach Arch, I say, hey, we going three-man front, man? What we doing? He said, no, they're running the ball. So they kind of puzzled me because in the past, Ash been passing the ball. Keep in mind that running back's number 5 running back in the nation.
Wow.
So when you got a guy like that in the backfield, you got to run the ball. And their offensive lines, they're massive. Not quite as big as Catholic Baton Rouge, but they're good high school football players. They're solid. They're averaging about 280 apiece.
Yeah,
so
good.
I mean, they're not world beaters, but they do their job long enough to get them running back in open space.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a challenge for the Rebel defense, and of course, we always look forward to that. But challenge is the wrong word. Opportunity is the word we're looking for. Coach, it was a pleasure visiting with you tonight. Enjoyed it, and wish you the best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Folks, that was defensive tackle coach Calvin Bowman. When we come back, we'll visit with 2 of his players, Shances Stewart and Jayden Clay, right here on Inside Rebel Football. We'll be right back.
The Home Improvement Outlet has a must-see iron door collection. Whether you're a homeowner or a builder, we have the perfect iron door for you. And check out our cutting-edge smart glass option, offering privacy and style at the touch of a button. With many glass options available, you can customize your door to match your unique style. We have iron doors that pivot, slide, and so much more. The Home Improvement Outlet in West Monroe.
Now cue that jingle.
The Home Improvement Outlet, you're building for less.
Welcome back, folks, and thanks for listening here on LA 105.3 Inside Rebel Football. And now joined by a couple of members of our defensive line, and just had a great visit with Coach Bowman, really talking about the mindset of a defensive tackle and the identity of our group that we have this year. Shances, he talked a little bit about you. We're joined by Shances Stewart and Jayden Clay, and Shances, let's talk about your journey. Coach talked about, you got this uphill battle always as a defensive tackle. It's just like double teams and just always fighting uphill. That kind of identifies with your journey to where you are today. You've overcome injuries to get to this senior season. Talk about your journey a little bit and what it means to be here this year.
It has always been a battle. I had surgery last year for my ACL, MCL, and meniscus. So usually they was telling me, you might never play football again. And I was like, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, those are hard words to hear.
It was going to be hard to get back on the field, but I was dedicated to it. So I went through the rehab, tough battles, even in that itself with the rehab. But I feel like it was really worth it.
Yeah.
To be back on the field and just being around our team and especially our D-line group, because we are hard on discipline, focus, playing off of each other with one unit, and it's just really good atmosphere to be around.
Well, first off, let me commend you for overcoming adversity. I mean, that's a great story that you'll be able to share the rest of your life with people that you run into. The things you've had to overcome, especially at a young age, overcoming injury. Talk to me about you're a senior on this team. And senior season's a big deal. And so talk to me about what that means to you, the responsibilities of leadership. How do you handle those things, and what's important to you as a senior leader?
I'd say it's kind of a fun role to play.
Okay.
Being the only senior, like, interior D lineman.
Gotcha.
I'm usually called, like, grandpa or unc because I'm the oldest one, and I just try to motivate them, in a tough loss, hold your head up, it's going to happen. How are you going to respond to it?
Yeah.
And try to just spread knowledge that I've learned in my 4 years and pass it on, see if it'll make them better as a player and as a person.
Jaden, as a junior on this defensive tackle group, that's got to mean something to you to hear your senior leader like that. Talk to me about that, what that means to your group.
Well, as a sophomore, it's very, like, inspirational sometimes because we'll be, like, down in the fourth quarter, and this guy's always, like, just hyping us up, just like, come on, let's go, let's go. And so it's really a big impact on us when he just starts hyping everybody up, and we rally to the ball every time.
Yeah. Talk to me, Jaden. This group, Coach Bowman just talked about kind of an underdog mentality that you guys have up front. You've played some really good offenses. You've had your challenges up front, but you guys continue to get better every week. Talk to me about the identity of this group, this defensive tackle group, and the things that you guys have had to overcome and the challenges that you've faced. But talk to me about that identity.
Well, some things we have to overcome is, like, you could be getting double teamed by the offense. You could be 2-on-1, or it can be 1-on-1. You have to overcome that.
Yeah.
You got to find a way to escape that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we all bleed the same blood, and we're all the same human beings. So we could all just fight through it.
Yeah, he said, you guys overcome. You may not be the biggest defensive lineman that we've had, but certainly play with a high motor, and it's certainly going to take that kind of effort, Shances, as you guys get ready to go to Ash on Friday night. You're accustomed to road trips. This is going to be, our fourth road game of the season, and over an hour drive again down to Ash. You've been preparing for these guys all week. Your thoughts on Ash? I know they've got a fantastic running back that will be an opportunity for West Monroe. But talk to me about your preparation and what to expect Friday night from the Trojans.
All week we've been talking about staying focused. The little things matter. No offsides, no free yards. A lot of people look at it as we're at a disadvantage, but, you have to go in with a mindset that you are at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
With that chip on your shoulder. So, I mean, it's going to be fun. Definitely, I love the challenge.
Yeah.
And they're good.
It sounds like you embrace the underdog role. Was that something that you guys take pride in? And, hey, look, man, we got a lot of doubters this week. Is that something that's been talked about at practice this week from the coaches? Like, hey, nobody believes in you guys. What you going to do? But talk to me about what that mindset has been this week.
Just being ready and focused. A lot of people look at it as we're like a young team.
Yeah.
But with the heart and the effort that we play with, we really make up for being young.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, guys, looking forward to it. Chances, I like to tell our seniors, thank you for representing this program the way you do. I wish you the best of luck Friday. And as a former player and a graduate from our high school, thank you for the way that you do things and the way you conduct your business and carry yourself. Guys, I wish you the best of luck Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Folks, that was Shances Stewart and Jayden Clay here with us on Inside Rebel Football. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show with head coach Kevin Davis. We'll preview the matchup Friday night against the Trojans. We'll be right back here on Inside Rebel Football.
Do you want to feel better and perform better and get back to doing the things you enjoy? Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Kyle Nix at Twin City Chiropractic. If pain or injury have got you down, we provide long-term solutions to get you back to 100%. Our services include chiropractic care, spinal rehab and traction, deep tissue laser, and Normatec compression. If you're an athlete, weekend warrior, work on a computer all day, or even involved in an auto accident, we can help your body perform at its best. Feel better, perform better at Twin City Chiropractic. We're located at 1117 Forsyth Avenue in Monroe. Call us at 318-582-5029.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for listening in. Our final segment tonight here on Inside Rebel Football with head coach Kevin Davis. Before we dive into Friday night, Coach, you had a matchup with Ash on Monday night. Freshman JV matchups there. Talk to us about that.
Freshman came out on top, played really well, got up on them 21-0, ended up beating them, I believe, 31-14.
Okay.
Did a great job, played really well. JV came out on the losing end of the stick, but got to counting, and I think at least 6 starters, both sides of the football, were varsity kids for them, played the whole game. A lot of times they'll play them a half and then let them go, and for the most part, they played them all. Wasn't real. I thought our kids played hard, got after it, and executed for the most part well, and so we were pleased with that.
Good.
That was their first loss of the year, but they've done really well.
Good. Coach, the itinerary for Friday. So obviously it's not your first road trip of the season, and so you guys get ready to go to Ash. What's the schedule for Friday?
It kind of worked out great, Rick, this year because we had the Pulaski trip and the Catholic trip.
Okay.
Those are almost identical in distance, so we could put those two together on when we're getting out of school, when we're going to have our meal, other than just going opposite directions. Well, this week it's the same with North DeSoto and with Ash. Distances are almost the same, so we're going to get out of class first lunch. They can eat a little lunch if they want to, come down to the field house, finish packing their bags, and then we're going to go to meetings for about 20 minutes, and then we'll have a devotion, do our pregame meal at home, which is always a good thing to be able to do. It just kind of keeps us in that comfort zone. Do a pregame meal at home, load up. We're taking yellow dogs down there. We're taking 4 of them to give us a lot of room for each one where you don't have to cram in on seats and things like that. And so we'll do that and plan on being in there about 4:45, start taping at 5, and then it becomes just a normal thing.
Ready to roll. The Trojans, Coach, a lot of hype. Ranked number 6 in the Sports Writers poll. Certainly have made a lot of noise. Good quality win over Opelousas and Destrehan. Number 5 running back in the country in J.T. Lindsay. Certainly have a big, I don't want to say challenge, got an opportunity Friday night against a really quality opponent. Talk to me about Ash and what you expect Friday.
Well, obviously they're 5-0 coming in. They've played some good people. And so have we. And my big thing is we've been on the road 3 straight weeks where we could absolutely in hostile environments, in big environments. So I am very confident with our kids going down there. Road trip's not going to be a problem. The environment's not going to be a problem. It's just going to be another game for us. Just happens to be the district opener. But I'm excited because I know our kids will be prepared for it.
Coach, to be successful on Friday, let's talk about your offense. What are you guys going to have to do? What's one thing? What's a key to this game that you say, hey, if we don't do this, we're going to have trouble? What on the offensive side of the ball are you really looking for from your guys Friday night?
Well, we have to control the football. They are a up-tempo when they want to be, except they run it a good bit. Quarterbacks can throw it. If you were at the JV game the other night, you saw both of them. That's them.
Okay.
They can spin it, and they want to up tempo when they want to do it. They don't do it all the time, but they pick and choose and do a really good job of that. And so we've got to sustain drives and keep them off the field as much as possible because they do have a great tailback. I mean, that guy's really, really good, and so that kind of bodes well for them with a guy that can spin it and that guy that can run it. But I feel like we're confident in the way we're playing the game right now. Our kids are excited about it, and I feel like we can control the football and keep it away from them.
Good week of practice?
Good week of practice, yes. Good weather.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really good weather this week.
Yeah, looking forward to some good weather on Friday night. Coach, as we wrap up the show, I always like to kind of ask you something. I guess it's football related, but, we have our coaches show here on Wednesday nights at Freddy's, and you see coaches' wives show up, and yours was here tonight as well. That's a part of your program, and that's something that's meaningful to you guys. Talk to me about that relationship that you guys promote with your coaches and seeing their families here at Freddy's.
Well, we encourage it so much. We want our kids to see our families. We want to see us interact we want to see it with their kids. They bring their kids up.
Yeah.
Coach D. Mike, Coach Barron, all of them have their boys up and just running around having a good time. Coach Welch, he did the same thing with his girl and his boy all summer long.
Yeah.
They got to know our kids. So that's important to us. My wife, Joetta, was here tonight, and she's headed to Little Rock, Arkansas, because the middle daughter is expecting.
Come on,
yeah,
Coach.
She's I hope that maybe she doesn't show up. Miller Ann doesn't show up till tomorrow, but they're going to take her in tonight, induce her, and see when that takes place. So it'll probably be a Thursday baby. My son's birthday is today. He's our youngest, and he turned 26 today. And
awesome.
We thought maybe we might get one, but I doubt very seriously. But, yeah, she's headed to Little Rock right now. She's excited about that. And we're having our second grandbaby.
Congratulations,
so
Coach.
It's awesome.
Yeah, well, look, we'll certainly say a prayer for that. We know
Absolutely.
that's always nerve-wracking and exciting all at the same time. But we certainly know that family is something important to you and to this program. Coach, we look forward to Friday night. It's going to be a fun night. You open District 2 5A, and there's no off weeks this season in district.
No.
It's a tough district, and it starts with a challenge down in Alexandria. We know you guys are embracing that and looking forward to it. We'll talk to you after the ball game.
All right, thanks, Rick. I appreciate you.
Folks, that was head coach Kevin Davis here on Inside Rebel Football. We'll be live the pregame show at 6:15 right here on 105.3. Friday night, Rebels travel down to Alexandria. You can catch it all right here. For Dawson Bose back at the studio, Tim Gallion here with us at Freddy's. I'm Rick Guillot. Good night and God bless.